Alright, hi guys, welcome back. This is basically me doing free for all for the first time, so I'll give my 2 cents about what I think about the multiplayer modes. And I'll be talking about stuff like what made Gears multiplayer, Gears multiplayer. One thing they did do, they took down but not out, so there's no longer executions in, the multiplayer PvP. There are stim grenades, which I didn't understand. Why give yourself stim grenades if you can't revive other players that way? I thought that's why they had stim grenades, but apparently it's so you can, like, I guess, tank yourself. If you're, going on a serious one-on-one, you can give yourself that slight edge by tossing a stim grenade, given your location, and, take them out that way. Because, if they don't body you or frag you, you're not going to die. So, another thing is, I want to hear you guys' opinions on this, because right now I'm fine with, well, it's not that bad, you can cope with it, the COG versus COG. I mean, the other previous Gears, it's always been, COG versus Locust, but apparently they went a different direction with that route. And another thing, for me, it was easier to distinguish who was on your team and who wasn't. Like, I don't know, just the other day I was fucking playing a team deathmatch, and there's this Kim character which usually wears, blue COG armor, and he was on the red team, and I was on, the blue team. But how they did it, they didn't even, make him full red. He still has some blue showing, and, if you spot him or something, sometimes their name tags will pop up. And, so what happened was, I was walking next to the guy, thinking he was on my team, just because I saw a little bit of blue. I believe it's in his torso area. They didn't cover up all the blue, so there's just, little red splotches. So, being that, I freaking was just walking right next to him, thinking he was a teammate, and I was like, he was just taking pop shots. I was like, what the hell is this guy shooting at? Turn around, and he's actually, freaking red team, and I get bodied by him. But I guess that was, me failing to fucking, try to distinguish my teammates. But yeah, and some other things, tossing the grenade is a lot harder because they did give the grenade some extra throwing strength. Before, I'm pretty sure you've noticed in the previous Gears, when you toss a grenade, it doesn't go that far if you underhand toss it, or even if you aim it. This one, you can toss that shit across the map if you wanted to, so it's hard to distinguish where the grenade's gonna land. At least that's my opinion about it. Yeah, so while bouncing, it seems a little bit buggy or glitchy. Like, sometimes you'll bounce and want to pull away from the wall, but you get stuck on it, and your dude ends up just fucking, looking left and right, and then, wants to get off the wall. That shit gets really annoying, and the movement is really clunky. Another thing they changed, I'm pretty sure they did change it. When you roll, there's the split second when you can't move. Usually in the previous, the other Gears, you could do a roll and keep on, running, and your movement speed, you would not stop. This one, if you roll, you stop for a split second. That's one thing I noticed about, the mechanics that they changed. And another thing I didn't like, I mean, it's noob friendly, but another thing I didn't like is the reticule on the screen constantly. I'm not sure if you can take that off, but I did go in the options and check if you could. I couldn't find anything. It's only on the multiplayer. If you go on campaign, it's not there unless you zoom in, of course, and that's how it's always been. But in multiplayer, that reticule is always on the screen, so, I don't know, what's your guys' feedback on that? Did you like that, or did you want it out? For me, I don't want it on the screen. There should be an option to take that off, because it's just a fucking huge eyesore for me. Yeah. There is a VIP pass, a season pass, or VIP, whatever. If you download it, you get extra character skins, you get a permanent double XP on the new maps, and there are 2 other game modes, I believe. But yeah, that's about it for me. I don't know. It's okay. What am I trying to say here? What am I trying to say about the season pass? For them to have it, yeah, it was kind of, sort of scumbaggish. For them to have it out the beginning before, It's like, oh, fucking buy your VIP pass now, or season pass, before the game was even out. And for extra character skins, I mean, this game doesn't even already have a lot of maps or character skins when it first came out. Gears, obviously they're holding stuff back. Gears 3 at least came out with like 10 maps, I think. I'll pull up a list, or maybe I won't. But yeah, I'll put up a video showing, you know, comparing the Gears 3 to Judgment, and comparing all the Gears videos. But yeah, another thing I want to talk about was the maps. There's only 4 maps on here. 4 maps for, you know, if you want to do a team deathmatch and free for all, not counting Overrun. I believe there's 2 maps for Overrun. What am I trying to say? Free for all. This is actually my first time jumping into free for all. If you see that I'm a level 32, it's because I did mainly like stuff like domination and team deathmatch. Another thing I want to point out is the 2-piece. That is back, and it is freaking. That is spreading like a horrible plague. It's like, usually, you know how in Gears, you know, it was like always wall bounce. There's hardly melee. This one, the 2-piece, I feel is way more popular now because the melee speed is like amped 10 times faster than what it usually would be. So essentially you could melee somebody and get in that second shot way before they can recover from their stunned animation. I mean, it's not that bad, but it is freaking annoying sometimes. So yeah. And another thing, I want to hear you guys' opinions about the loadout. Like, what did y'all think about the loadout? For me, starting with frag grenades was just total bullshit. But I am working around it. I'm getting used to it. I'm learning to cope. But yeah, starting with getting to choose like what type of grenade you wanted that you usually have to find in like the previous Gears. I believe in the previous Gears you start off with a smoke grenade, or none at all. But I'm pretty sure it was a smoke grenade. The smoke grenade is a lot more detailed. It's harder to see if you toss one. The radius has a bigger radius for the smoke. Not sure if it lasts longer, but it is definitely harder to see people behind the smoke. And then if you TACCOM, you can kind of get an outline of the people hiding behind the smoke, but it's a little bit harder to do with the Judgment smoke at the moment. I believe I touched base on almost everything I wanted to talk about. If not, I'll freaking bring it up in other future videos. But, you know, until then, I hope you guys enjoy this video of Free For All. It wasn't the best I could do. I don't know, I felt like the controls were a little clunky, so I couldn't have done as best as I wanted to do. But yeah, I want to hear you guys' feedback if you played the game or just seen gameplay of it. What you guys think of what direction they went for the multiplayer. So until then, enjoy the free-for-all footage, and I'll see you guys next time.